This match could come down to boxing IQ, or it could come down to a big slugfest. Who wants it more?
I'll shake his hand after the fight. He's got to bring on what he's got to do, and I'm ready for it.
The winner out of this fight proceeds on to world level. This fight's life-changing.
Welcome to the head-to-head for the vacant British Heavyweight Championship, which takes place at the O2 on July the 13th, live and exclusive on BT Sport. I'm in the middle of the two challengers, the youngest combined pair to ever fight for this title. On my left, challenger 1, Nathan Gorman, and on my right, challenger 2, Daniel Dubois. I'm going to ask the pair of you the first question, the same question if I can. I'm going to start with you, Daniel. Why have you taken this fight? You're unbeaten, you're young. Why have you taken this fight at this stage?
Because I believe I can win it, and, you know, Frank, he put the deal on the table, and this is the next move, and this is the next step in progressing my career. So I'm not into ducking no one, so I face every challenge I have to face. And
Nathan, why have you taken this fight?
For me, Steve, it's a bit of a no-brainer. You know, why not take this fight? We're both undefeated, we're both under the same banner, and miraculously, we're both in line for the British title. You know, in my opinion, the most prestige belt in boxing. You know, look all the legends what's fought it and won it time and time before. So why not? And the winner of this plateaus themselves into the top 5 in the world, so why not? It's a bit of a no-brainer.
Isn't there a danger, and I put it to the pair of you, and, you know, shoot me down if you like, that you're both unbeaten, you're both babies, 23, 21, you're both heavyweights that are about to get onto that world scene, and yet you run the risk of one of you eliminating the other when you box each other. You don't have to box each other this soon in your careers. You go first, Daniel.
Of course, there's a risk. There's always a risk involved in this sport of all sports. You know, this is it's brutal, and you know there has to be a winner and there's going to be a loser, and that's just the way it is, man. Can't get around that. It's a chance and it's a risk. I'm more than ready, and I'm 100% ready to win this fight.
We're here now. Like you said, the loser, in my opinion, is 12 months behind the winner. That's what happens here. The loser goes back to the drawing board. The winner, obviously, is a British champion, whether you defend it or push on for, I don't know, European or into the world level fights. That's where we're at, really, with this fight.
You know each other, OK? We've established this. Let's get some facts absolutely sorted out. You were both part of the GB squad up in Sheffield. You spent time in the ring together, and you spent time in houses together. In fact, you even stayed in the same flat or room together. What was that like, spending time this close to Daniel back then, 4 or 5 years ago? What was it like?
Two different personalities, aren't we, Steve? You know, obviously, Daniel, everyone knows what Daniel's personality is, and everyone knows my personality. So, for me, when I finished, obviously, all the hard training and that, I'd like to go back to the flat, have the crack with the lads and stuff. Daniel's a very quiet lad, you know, he does what he does. So for me, I couldn't be with that, you know.
Not your kind of person?
Not my kind of person, no, definitely not.
You know, my first amateur coach, he told me no friends in boxing, and it stuck with me. And my dad drummed that into me, so I fought like that, and that's just my mentality.
And is that still the way you are? So even if you have sparring partners for this fight, they're not your friends, they're your sparring partners. I pay you, I beat you, and then that's it.
Exactly. I expect them to do the best they can and try and knock me out if they can. And most of them, they do come to try and do that, but I always end up on top and getting the upper hand, so.
It's quite a cold approach, Nath, to take.
Horses for course, isn't it, Steve? You know, if that's the way you are, that's the way you are, you know. Different ways are carried on, everything, but just wasn't for my liking.
And let's talk now about those sparring sessions. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts of the sparring sessions. I'll start with you, Daniel. What do you remember from the time you spent in the ring in Sheffield under the GB setup with Nathan? What do you remember?
No, I'll tell you this. That was sparring, and this is a fight, so it's a completely different thing. Sparring back then, it was like exhibiting your skills and all that, you know. In the Sheffield way, they sort of have a approach which is tech spar, and it's all sort of planned out what you're going to do ahead of time.
So you know what you're going to do. This is about throwing the left hand, countering the right hand, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, just no comparison.
Nath, is that your memory?
I remember a bit different.
How do you remember it?
There was also a lot of open sparring in there, you know. I don't think you win Olympic gold medals through blocking a jab and throwing the right hand, do you?
It's important, but you don't win gold medals.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You do need hard sparring. And I remember the hard sparring in Sheffield. I do. Like he just said, on the other hand, this is a fight. 10-ounce gloves on in a big, massive arena. You know, 24,000, how many is going to be there? So when you walk out in that arena, all that sparring stories and whatever, it's 4 years ago. It's water under the bridge. It's me and him right now.
Daniel, can you get to a point where you dislike an opponent? Have you disliked any opponent, amateur or pro yet?
It's war, and that's how I see it. It's war, and you know, in war, you know, I don't take no prisoners, and it's kill or be killed, and you know, it's just like that. It's I don't hold back, and when I'm in a fight, I don't hold back. It's straight to the point, and I'm straight to the point kind of guy.
And what about you, Nath? Have you ever disliked a man or a boy or an opponent, amateur or professional? Have you ever disliked a person?
Not to my recognition, no. It's a sport at the end of the day, obviously. When that bell goes, it doesn't matter if it's your best friend in that ring, that goes through the window. You've got to beat that man in front of you. So not to my recognition, no, I haven't had, you know, a proper foe. Obviously, we are rivals. Do you know what I mean?
But you're not leaning across the table, jumping at each other, rivals.
We're not going to headbutt each other or anything, or punch each other up, are we? You know what I mean? But we are rivals in the sense. If we acted out a character now, people will see straight through it, you know what I mean? They can buy into this fight because, like you just said, you can sense there's something about it.
And I can sense it with you, Daniel, and I've been, you know, around you, amateur and pro, and I can sense here there's just a bit more focus, just a bit more intensity. Did you feel that with Nathan? Can you sense that in yourself?
No, I really want to fight. I want this fight bad, and I really want to fight and put on, you know, a great performance and put all my passion into it.
But getting back to that first point I made, that first point about you both, you're 21 years of age, you'll be the third youngest British heavyweight champion if you win. This is a fight you could have taken in 6 months or 9 months, but you still remain that this is the fight you want and this is why you've taken it.
Yeah, there's no backing down. I've got an iron will, and I'm not going to. This is it, and this is the next step. There's no what could have been. No, this is it, and I'm fully focused for it.
Now I know you don't allow yourself to look beyond the fight, but when you're away, when you're relaxing, when you're with your brothers and sisters and your dad, and you're relaxing, do you allow yourself to just dream a little bit of where you might be in 6 months or a year? Do you allow yourself just a little bit of mind wandering?
Yeah. Yeah, I do sometimes, you know, what the possibilities are and what will be. And as you know, my dad, we talk about it sometimes, and you know, you know, from day one, there's always been a model, a dream, and this is what I'm going after.
So this is, you win a British title inside 15 fights, and then you move on. I mean, would you, in theory, let's assume you win, would you be ready for a big move in a year or 6 months in your mind?
Yeah, not that far away, to be honest. I don't think there's a really big gap separating me from the top elite fighters. I've just got to keep getting in performances and keep winning.
Can you get to Nathan Gorman, Daniel? Let's get right down to the heart and the core of this. Can you get to Nathan Gorman and do to him like you've done to so many of your opponents, hurt him and drop him?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, it's just about going in there, going with the same, you know, routine I've done countless times, and, you know, not looking for it, but it's in the back of my mind I want to knock out.
So not looking for the knockout, boxing your way to the knockout?
Yeah, boxing and being smart, being clever, and boxing smart, just so, you know, it's no big deal. It's another fight for me, and I keep it like that.
Can he do it? Can he get to you?
I don't think so. I know not. There's no doubt in my mind. He can't.
And can you get to him?
Definitely. This match could come down to boxing IQ, or it could come down to a big slugfest. Who wants it more? This what type of fight we're dealing with here. Before I know the bell goes, me and him could run to the centre of the ring and wail away at each other until whoever gets it first. Or on the other hand, he might come out, polished jab. If he does that, I've got that area covered. When the referee brings us together and we both look at each other in the eyes, and that bell goes, you got 1/10 of a second before you walk to each other to exchange blows. That's when you know.
And you know then, you can tell.
100%. He'll tell as well as I'll tell.
And what about you, Daniel? When do you think you'll think this is going to be an instant war, or I'm going to take my time? When do you think you'll know?
When I decide, you know, after the first bell, you know, you get straight down to business, and it's on, it's game on, and what it's got to be, and jabbing, slipping, boxing. I fight to win, and that's my main objective, is to win.
Obviously, I understand the winner out of this fight proceeds onto world level. This fight's life-changing, isn't it? Let's be fair for the winner.
It is what it is. I go in there and I fight to win, and that's my objective. Fight to win and go through whatever I've got to go through, and, you know, overcome everything. There's many dimensions to my style, so whatever I've got to pull out of myself, I'm going to do it. I'm going to dig deep, and if I have to dig deep, or a first round blitz, you know, it is what it is.
So it could be 12 rounds, it could be 1 round?
Yeah, from round 1, it's just, you know, putting on this a talented boxing display and showing all my talent and my ability. A good few years' time, I'll look back on it and, you know, it's all good memories. And that's all, you know, that's the main thing, is the memory, and having that to show to, I don't know, my kids, and look back on it and say, yeah, this is me, it's what I've done.
This is me, that's what I've done. And what about you, Nath? If you visualise it, if you allow yourself to dream, how do you see it ending?
A Nathan Gorman win, you know, there's no doubt in my mind I can't beat him. Whatever means possible, I'm going to get that win.
So you're like Daniel, you're not saying the first round or the 5th round or the 7th round or 12?
It could be a 1-round war, it could be a 12-round war, or it could be a 12-round boxing lesson. Whatever he's got to throw at me, we've got the answer for.
It's a really odd thing, because sitting here, I can sense it and I can feel it. But at the same time, you smiled more than you've smiled for a long time. You've not stopped smiling. And I know I said earlier on that Marvin Hagler never shook hands with an opponent. Could I ask you two to shake hands across the table? Is that something that you're both prepared to do?
I won't shake his. I'll shake his hand after the fight. He's got to bring on what he's got to do, and I'm ready for it.
We've got to fight each other, Steve, haven't we? There's no friendship here.
It's a really odd thing, because there's no friendship, but there's no insults. And in modern boxing, there's meant to be insults first. What's going on?
It's not my fault.
Fighters back in the day, they never needed none of that. They went in there and they dealt with their business as it should have been. And I don't know, this is a new age and people want a bit of drama, but I provide that in the ring and excitement in the ring.
Which reinforces what you said. Neither of you can suddenly get out of character and start throwing tables and start spitting at each other.
The people can tell, well, as you can sense, there's an atmosphere here between us. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's going to be such a good fight, and I can't wait.
And I can't wait either. You two don't need to shake hands, do you? You're just looking at each other.
Good looking, aren't I?
Nathan, thank you. Daniel, thank you. July 13th at the O2, the vacant British heavyweight title. Unbeaten Nathan Gorman, unbeaten Daniel Dubois. Live and exclusive on BT Sport.
Gorman certainly has posted a real statement here. Big punches again from Dubois with fast hands. Another imposing performance from the young man. Caught him there and he's gone. Oh my goodness! Oh, great shot. And it's all over.
Remember the name of Triple D.